going on, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of After the Empire, the official post show of Coastal Empire Wrestling. I'm Mr. Cincinnati with the Wrestling Junkies podcast. As always, I'm joined by my compadre, the podcast dad, Choops. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Well, I cannot complain. Legends of Lowcountry is in the books, and I just seem to have a smile on my face after watching this incredible show and seeing the fallout of what happened. I can't wait to talk about it.
There's one thing in particular, man. One thing. What could that
I could
be?
Put my finger on it.
What could it be? What could these so-called journalist marks be talking about?
I believe he called us fucking marks, but neither here nor there. Hakeem Young did not win the Coastal Chaos Championship. We have a lot to break down when it comes to this match. Before we get into all of the action, make sure you're following us at the Wrestling Junkies podcast at Junkies Pod. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers right now. We need the help of the Coastal Empire Wrestling faithful to get there. Choops, what's that magic number?
It's just one. Just tell one person, guys. If you enjoy what we do here, if you enjoy wrestling, we like wrestling. Tell one person, see if they like what we're doing.
Yeah, we talked WWE, we talked AEW, we talked TNA, we talked the Indies, we talked Coastal Empire Wrestling. We talk everything. We just love to talk pro wrestling. So make sure that you're giving us a follow. Subscribe to our channel as well. Follow our friends at the Main Event Wrestling Network. We work with a great network of individuals that put on great podcasts, memes, fan art, blogs, you name it. All kinds of interactive wrestling content that really makes you think and really wants you just to sit down, enjoy life, and just talk about the good professional wrestling. So make sure you're giving us a follow over there as well. Buddy, again, Legends of Lowcountry, incredible event. This was probably one of the largest crowds that they've had this year, if not the largest. So shout outs to the entire crew for an incredible show. What'd you think?
No, it looked good. Overall looked good. Again, I don't know how you can beat these prices getting into the building. It's just, what was it, $20 for front row? You cannot beat that.
$3 drinks.
At all. $3 drinks. I don't get daddy in the door. But yeah, it looked great. It always looks great. But yeah, the crowd showed up, and I think we saw that in full force. And hey, it's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger as we grow with Coastal Empire.
Big facts, my friend. Let's just go ahead and get on into it. First up, we had Young Mighty Joe taking on Dax Anthony. This was one we were definitely looking forward to because Young Mighty Joe recently made his debut for Coastal Empire Wrestling. Dax Anthony is a bit of a mainstay there, and Joe, he's a character. But if there's one thing he loves to do, it is fight. And fight they did. Young Mighty Joe getting the win, going to 2-0 in his CEW career. What'd you think?
It's a big win, huh? I mean, a little bit of an upset. That's a mighty big win. Yes. Was there a little controversy?
Controversial.
Hey, W's a W. No matter how you look at it.
Doesn't see it. I know. I get
how you cross it. W is a W. But this was a big win, man. And Young Mighty Joe has a ton of momentum right. Again, beating Dax is no small feat. That guy is. We've seen him live. That guy is something else.
Massive.
And he's insane. So Young Mighty Joe getting right in there, going toe to toe with him is nothing to sneeze at, and a big win. Hey Dax, leave Bryce alone.
Yeah, I mean, look, here's the thing. This was a fun match, and you can't help but wonder if Dax would have really walked away with the win here. But he spent a little bit too much time focusing on our friend Bryce on commentary as he recovers from the knee injury. It seems like that return is loading sooner than later. So Dax, I mean, if you're just in the market for some new enemies, I mean, do you? That's fine.
I won't be your enemy.
What's that? I
won't be his enemy. I'm afraid of Dax.
Nah, it's fine.
I mean, at this point, I'm afraid of Young Mighty Joe. So.
Well, there was a little bit of fallout from this match. Follow Coastal Empire Wrestling on Instagram, and you'll see that there was a bit of an altercation between Dax Anthony and a handful of the referees. We are seeing some discontent with the officiating staff of Coastal Empire Wrestling as of late, and their treatment. They are impartial. They are impartial. Excuse me. They're also imperfect. We all are, but we are going to start to see, are these referees really going to take much more of this from the talent in this locker room?
I don't know. We should ask the NFL refs how they do it. Kind of seems like a little bit of a Kansas City Chiefs situation going on there in Coastal Empire.
Yeah, well, I can't say that I can't blame the referees for last night. So Anyway, that's for another time.
I'm not talking about that.
Yeah, I know. I said that's for another time. But yeah, Young Mighty Joe 2-0 in his CW career. Talk is cheap. There will be a rematch here, so it would be my hope that the officiating is a little bit tightened up a little bit more, making sure that we're seeing feet on the rope and everything that needs to be seen as far as from the point of view of a referee. I am really excited to see these guys go at it one more time.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good match. It just, yes, there was controversy. Let's have the rematch. Let's find out who really is the better man. And like you said, hopefully the refs have their eyes open for the entire match.
Yeah, and Dax, if you want the win here, maybe leave commentary to do their job.
He said that. I did not. Dax should do whatever you want.
Whatever.
I will sit right here.
Next up, we had Nikki 8 taking on Dylan Lessend. This was, again, we were really, really excited about this one. Nikki 8 getting the win here. Just a throwback character and loving the 80s mindset. It does take me back to a simpler time.
I wasn't alive in the 80s, so I don't know. But
yeah, I wasn't either, but you know.
Then why? How do you relate to this?
There's some nostalgia to it, okay? Hey, I watched Rock of Love with Bret Michaels, okay? I know a thing or two about hairbands, all right?
God, you don't know anything about hairbands. Shut your mouth. If anybody knows anything about hairbands, that will be me.
I know. Okay, then
what is
some knowledge about hairbands?
What is
Appetite for Destruction?
God. All right, come with me. We'll listen to some Dio.
I've traveled with you. Okay, I've made towns with you. I know you're
you haven't heard Dio yet. You haven't heard Dio. Ronnie James Dio will light you a new one. I love the name Nikki 8 too. Like the whole gimmick, Nikki 8. It's a fun gimmick. It was a clash of gimmicks too. Like you said, a throwback for Nikki 8, and Dylan was more kind of worried about those Twitch streamers. So a fun little clash of characters, clash of styles, and yeah, a fun match.
Yeah, no, I mean you can't, again, much like Dax Anthony, Young Mighty Joe. You can't help but wonder if Dylan would have gotten the win if he wasn't so worried about his live stream.
The crowd was huge, man. Like you gotta impress in front of that crowd, and we saw with these two matches, like you gotta impress the people. And if you feel like you're being wronged by either the commentary, Bryce, I don't think you were, and then the other one, you got to capitalize on the big crowd. Get on the live stream, show everybody what you're doing. So, did it prove to be wrong? Sure, but did he gain more followers? That's the real question.
I mean, it's a valid question, but number of followers doesn't necessarily translate to championships. But there's time to.
We'll take as many as we can. Maybe we should take some advice from Dylan. Cheers.
Okay, we're not. Okay, all right. Anyway, what?
I didn't say anything. You just said you just had a throwback to the 80s and you weren't alive, so I don't want to hear it.
Don't you realize that I just say stuff now?
When you said the hairband and you talked about Poison, get out.
I didn't necessarily talk about Poison. I talked about Rock of Love. Thank you very much. That's
even worse.
Did you know Big John lives in Cincinnati?
I'm sipping my coffee.
I've seen him wrestle. It's entertaining as hell. Shout out to Future Great Wrestling.
Move on.
All right. Next up, we had a tag team match that had some stakes that could really determine the fate of the tag team championships. Bad Magic and The Route. The Route getting the win here. I know absolutely nothing about Bishop Donald Jakes or whatever his particular title is. I liked him when I knew a lot less about him.
Hey, I think it goes back to the first match. Win's a win, baby. And this had stakes. This had a big stakes. And now the Route get a shot at the number or at the tag titles. Like this is. I can't be mad. They went in and they did what they needed to do because there was a lot on the line. And Bad Magic, I'm sorry, but you got out thunk.
Is that the
might be a word, might not be a word, but
okay, yeah,
it happened.
Well, yeah, no, new new number one contenders here. Donald Jakes. This would not be his only appearance of the night. Quite frankly, I enjoyed what happened to him later on in the show.
Of course you did, because you're a bad person.
I'm not a bad person.
You are.
Okay.
You are.
Is it time?
Oh, I'll let you.
Is it time? Is it time?
I'll let you lay it.
The Coastal Chaos Championship, Michael Walker versus Hakeem Young. Michael Walker coming in with an injured foot last month. Hakeem Young slams it into a car door. Also attacked him and Rob Killjoy after a banger of a match for the Coastal Chaos Championship back in June at Fire Hazard. Man, I gotta say, this pleases me. This pleases me. Hakeem talked all kinds of trash. Said he was going to walk out with the title. Said that he was devastation, chaos, destruction, and he proved to be a lot of that during this match. But the one thing that he said he was going to do, which was win the Coastal Chaos Championship, and he didn't do it. Your thoughts?
Hakeem, feel free to come on anytime and talk about your strategy for the match, how you're going to take over the pod, how you're going to bring the title back to the pod. I guess we'll have to wait, won't we? That didn't work, did it? And you've been real quiet ever since. Haven't heard much from you. Are you still out there?
He's usually watching our show. He's chirping in the comments. He'll share our stuff, even if it's a little backhanded. We understand that there's going to be some shade. It is what it is. But this was, I
think the best representation of this is I'm just going to sip my tea.
You could do that, and you should go. What kind of tea we got there?
It's black coffee.
Ah, okay. All right.
It was kind of the whole thing.
I like it.
It's fine. You ruined it.
It basically boils down to this. Hakeem Young had Michael Walker in the perfect position of being a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest. We've all heard that phrase before. He set it up perfectly, and he still lost. Mm-hmm. Now, granted, this was a Broadway, so it went to a time limit draw. Okay, fine, but again, you take out the leg, you slam it into a car door, and you take all these actions to get your championship match, and you come up short.
Yeah, you say, hey, he lost, but it was a Broadway. He still didn't walk out with the title, so
he did not.
In my book, that's a loss.
Yeah, I agree.
You want to admit it or not, and like you just said, your opponent had one leg, and you're some big, massive chaos, whatever the hell you want to keep calling yourself.
Bryce Cannon compared him to Samoa Joe.
Yeah, see, Bryce, you know what Samoa Joe would have done to a one-legged man? We saw it at WrestleMania when he beat Rey Mysterio in 30 seconds. That's
beat that poncho, though.
Let's see Hakeem Young in a poncho. How about that? Oh, because that's what it was, because you just had a Broadway. Like, come on, dude. You can't. Don't come back until you win the title. How about that? Don't say anything until you win the title. Don't come back until you win the title. I don't want to.
Now, granted, Talk is Cheap is coming up in a matter of days, and there will be a rematch for the Coastal Chaos Championship. Yeah, I think
what's the name of the show again?
Talk is Cheap.
There you go.
You have to think it's back of the line if he doesn't win this weekend.
Should be back of the line now.
He should. I see a small argument, because they went to a time limit draw for a rematch. Sure, fine. But if you don't win this weekend, back to the drawing board.
When you don't win this weekend, because I'm pretty sure Michael Walker is now healthy. You missed your opportunity, bud.
Yep.
See you around.
Oh, well. He says he'll win it, but, whatever.
I'm still waiting.
Yeah. Now, there were a couple of singles matches that were set up. Everybody's aware of the ongoing tension between Exotic Youth and Simon Sermon, Chip Schuyler, Donald Jakes, Randall Reno III. I know. There were a couple of singles matches that were supposed to happen. Zach Mosley, Simon Sermon, Pep, and Chip Schuyler. And these matches did not end up taking place. Chip Schuyler actually didn't even show up to the arena at Legends of Lowcountry on the orders of his daddy. Guess that's what I'm supposed to call him?
No, I will call him Simon.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So Exotic Youth challenged to a match by Simon Sermon and Donald Jakes. Donald Jake. I mean,
I don't trust it, man.
Exotic Youth got that win though.
I still don't trust it. There's something cooking. I think the Exotic Youth need to keep an eye out, especially after what happened in the main event. But they be careful. That's all I'll say, because something's cooking. I don't know what yet, but those guys they're blatant cheaters. They're sneaky. Like there's something fishy's happening. We're having problems with the officiating. They're making matches all of a sudden. Keep an eye out.
But I can smile at the fact that Bryce got to punch Simon in the face. That was pretty cool.
It was a win in this overall war. It was good. It was good.
Yes.
They got their comeuppance, at least this time. But I'm a little skeptical on what's going on here.
Yeah, I mean, and again, remember, Bryce is getting a lot closer to a return to the ring. I mean, at this point, Exotic Youth has been a man down for a good while here, and there's only so much that can be done on commentary. But
yeah,
this would be the time for once he's healthy, all bets are off.
Yeah, and that's why it gives me hope. But again, I'm still be careful. Be careful, Exotic Youth. I think there's something bigger afoot.
Cannot agree more. But it's time to talk about our main event now that we have gotten to it. CT Keys defending his CEW Heavyweight Championship against Randall Reno III. Also, what's the difference between Randall Reno III and Randy Reno? Is it like a Clark Kent, Bruce Wayne sort of thing? Or
there's no way, because neither one of them are Superman. See what I did there? You liked it. You're all SummerSlam swagged out.
I know, right?
It's almost like you dropped.
Kind of worked out.
What was the exact dollar amount?
That's not
within a penny of.
Yeah. Well, I did have my Jey Uso Roman Reigns Tribal Combat shirt on earlier, and then a couple of cancelable people on that shirt. So anyway, yeah. Make sure you subscribe to the Wrestling Junkies podcast at Junkies Pod. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram. But Randall Reno did regain his heavyweight championship, thanks to the help of Donald Jakes once again. These guys need their collective asses kicked.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like the referees, I think, are the referees in the pocket?
I mean, I don't want to speculate, but if so, it's definitely not by choice.
I don't know. Look, he won the title back. That's great. They now have the tag and the world.
And Hakeem still doesn't have the Coastal Chaos Championship, so it's not all bad.
No, it's not all bad. But Bryce, when you come back, let's get some of this gold off of these guys, and let's get it back to where it belongs. Let's get these tag titles back on Exotic Youth, where they, quite frankly, belong. Since they were stolen from them, but
they're likely going to have to go through the route for it.
Just be careful, because there's some sneaky stuff coming. And Hakeem, talk is cheap. Prove me wrong, please.
Final thoughts on Legends of Lowcountry, my friend.
Go watch the show, guys. Coastal Empire is doing something special. We are seeing some insane talent. The crowds are getting bigger. The shows are getting better. Guys, go watch this stuff, because I think this is the next up-and-coming independent promotion that you guys are going to want to latch onto.
Yeah, I mean, we talk to our friends at CEW on a fairly regular basis, and the names that they're bouncing around about bringing in are just out of this world. So, there really is a new class of talent coming in that is set to steal the show and get some new eyes on CEW and Savannah Wrestling as a whole. Make sure you're following them, subscribe, like, share. There is an official CEW fan page on Facebook if you want to give them a follow as well. That is where they make that's where they make all of their announcements for their next shows. I mean, Talk is Cheap is coming up on September 28th. There's 7 incredible matches. You guys do not want to miss these. We will be breaking all of those down in the next edition of Coastal Countdown. Cannot wait to share that with all of you. We will also be joined by Tyler Shoup. He will be taking on our friend Hunter James. And this is, a match that could have some potential heavyweight title ramifications. So, I can't wait to break it out, break it down with them. And again, great stuff going on CEW right now. And it just really doesn't get better than this.
It does not. Guys, go watch this. If you like independent wrestling, if you like wrestling, just go watch it. This is one of the more fun promotions that you can watch. And like I said, we're seeing the crowds grow and grow as these months go on. There's something cooking there. There's something special there. And the people behind the scenes really want to see it succeed. Let's all see it succeed.
Yeah. Here. That is going to do it for this edition of After the Empire. Again, make sure you're following the Wrestling Junkies podcast at Junkies Pod on X. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. All it takes is one person. If you know one person who will enjoy our show, do us a favor and share it with them. We will be back with the next edition of Coastal Countdown for Talk is Cheap. Enjoy wrestling, have fun, and let's just all be cool. So for the podcast dad of Mr. Cincinnati with the Wrestling Junkies podcast, this has been After the Empire. We'll talk to you guys soon.